Hello everyone, Douglas Waltz, Old Man Comic Book Reviews, coming at you with another big stack. Here we go, no apparent order or just completely at random. We have Moon Knight 22, the writer is Jed MacKay, the artist is Alessandro Cappuccio, and the Midnight Man is back in action, even though the last two Midnight Mans are dead. So, yeah, this is an issue with Tigra. See, she's on the cover. I had no idea she had a kid. The birth of the child, because he's like 5 in this, the birth of the child is questionable at best. Could be Hank Pym, could be a Skrull. I have no idea about any of this. But Tigra takes it upon herself to hunt down the Midnight Man and doesn't like the answer that she gets. I did like the part where, this is a dark comic book, it's always got black around it like this, and they used, for Tigra's thoughts, this orange, which I can see really well. Sometimes they use this yellow I can't see really well. I get it, I'm old, that's part of the thing. It's in the title. But I like that they did this. This is a very sweet issue of Moon Knight. Very little Moon Knight in it, lots of Tigra, and that's a good thing. Alright, 7 of 12 of the Batman Scooby-Doo mysteries. And now we find where they've hidden it. Still going. Here we go. Written by Amanda Deibert, drawn by Dario Bruzella. And Daphne is going to go to a talent show for her martial arts skills. So the guys are all going to Gotham City, but somebody keeps taking the axe. First one act disappears and another act disappears. Batman shows up to help out. There's a big twist at the end. The gang all do different acts, which is kind of funny. The guys are doing competitive eating. So that's how it works. This is fun. It's always fun, though. This is number 7 of 12, so we're at the little over halfway point. Here we go. Maniac of New York. Don't call it a comeback, number 2. Yes. This is such a good book. They're calling this The Widening Gyre. It's a Kevin Smith comic book, a Batman book. Elliot Kalin is the writer. Andrea Muti is the artist and colorist. It looks very much like watercolor, which I thought was neat. They're trying to convince the investigator from the previous arc, I guess, to come back. This maniac is obviously female. We find out that there's an amulet that matches the mask in the museum, and other people have decided that since the maniac is currently only killing bad people, that they're going to go ahead and dress up like the maniac and start taking whacks at people as well. So they've got a maniac problem in New York City, and this is always a good book. This should just be a continuing book. And I want a movie. We'll see what I get. Dark Ride number 5. So, hooray for us. Joshua Williamson is the creator-writer. Andre Bresson is the creator-artist. First we get a lovely flashback, way back flashback. It says the late 1980s, the before times, as my twin granddaughters will refer to it, about how the kids get born and how their father is a madman and there's something underneath the park and it really shouldn't be there, and that's when it starts to hit the fan. This is just an interesting book. It's basically if Walt Disney was a horror guy instead of a fun-filled animation guy and made that kind of money. It's Disney money. So, good book. It's just always a lot of fun to read. The artwork is gorgeous and you'd never really know what you're going to get. It's always like a little bit of a surprise at the end. All right, what do we got here? Jungle Comics, number 14. I will never stop buying Jungle Comics. The young lady on the front is not in the book. Zan of the Jungle, Part 8. The Queen of the Forbidden Plateau. Story and art by Giuseppe Pedriali and Robert Renzi. And then Primal, the Jungle Warrior, Part 5. Story is Eric Allen Nelson and Marcello Bravo. Pencils are Eric Allen Nelson. Inks are Andrea Perron and Eric Allen Nelson. Triple Threat Man! So when last we left Zan, he was stuck in a big hole. The Queen was going to have him destroyed. The monkeys talked the rhinos into helping because apparently Zan saved the Rhino King. Good old just jungle fun. If you love jungle movies, jungle comics, this is a thing all of its own. And Zan is a fun time. Primal is their sexy bit. You got the well-endowed, curvaceous female wearing not a whole lot with a tiger for her headpiece, and she fought a Tyrannosaurus Rex in this issue. So yep, both fun stories. Sometimes they break it up and give us lots of stories. In this one, they're just doing 2. I am excited that arriving. Well, it says it's already arrived. I'll have to check. There's something called Spectre Man Heroes, so I'll have to look into that. See how that goes. Wish me luck. Number 3 of Mad Balls versus Garbage Pail Kids. Time again, slime again. It's all time travel stuff. Well, not time travel. It's just different eras of them. Writer is Sholly Fish. Artist and colorist Jason Crosby. We start off with the Wild Wild West and Who's Got the Creepier Town. They have a pillow fight. My favorite line was, let me find it because it's pretty funny. You swing a mean bag of feathers, partner. What's your secret? Not taking them off the chicken. So, I mean, you might want to call it animal cruelty. I don't know. And then we have drag racing in the second part because there's always 2 parts. So we're doing the 50s. We got a greaser. We got the Mad Balls in their cars. It's a big race. You know, silly stuff. And there's a little puzzle in here you can do as well. This is always just fun. It's silly, stupid fun. Because sometimes that's what you need. This silly, stupid fun. Hold on, my comic books here. I'm dropping them into a comic book box because I got to do the independent comics over because there's too many of them. Okay, so there's a new crossover. It's Captain America, so of course we got it. Captain America Cold War with both Captain Americas, Sam and Steve. And let's find our official. Really? You gonna maybe keep going? Hold on, kids. All right, here we go. Writers Jackson Lansing, Colin Kelly, and Tochi Onyebuchi. Sorry if I got that wrong. Artist is Carlos Manga. So apparently Sam stopped a civil war in Mohanda with Ian Rogers, which is Nomad. The White Wolf was going to Dimension Z. They're doing Dimension Z. The thing that made me stop buying a Captain America book. This is what Cold War is. They're doing Dimension Z, so I don't know how I feel about it. Also, I thought I was familiar with the artist who drew this. This artwork is not great. I mean, it's got both of the Captain Americas. It's got the super secret stuff. I mean, you get splash panels like that. But every so often you see little things where the art is overworked or the angle is wrong on the human body. I mean, it's not, Rob Liefeld icky or anything like that, but it's just not what I've been seeing in my Captain America book. So, we're back to Z. So after that, we have to get 2 books that I already buy, and then 2 issues of the book that I don't buy. I don't buy Sam's book. I just don't care. And then the Omega, which will wrap it up. So it's not too bad. 2 extra comic books plus 2 extra things like that. Here we are, West of Sundown. We're written by Tim Seeley and Aaron Campbell, drawn by Tim Carey. When last we left Mr. Griffin, he was being operated on and done things with Dr. Moreau and ends up wearing a chupacabra head on his head. This is one of those where this is the best issue I think I've read in a very, very long time. The dialogue, because we've got Frankenstein fighting monsters, you've got the chupacabra wearing Griffin, but there are just things in here that are hilarious. Let me just find a couple of them. There's one where they stop the bad guys from attacking, and one of the cattlemen actually yells, "Fucking shit, fucking fucker horse." And the woman responds by, "My cattlemen are acting all mixed up in their minds, and it's raining whores and badges." And they use the C word, which we're not doing. But yeah, it's cool. The female vampire is able to separate the one demon that's part werewolf and part human because she can command them to separate. So that's kind of neat. It's a big receipt. It's a big fight at the finish kind of thing. The bad guys lose, the good guys win. Griffin gets redeemed, which I thought was kind of nice. He looks silly with a chupacabra on his head anyways. And then it's over. Everything's wrapped up in a neat little bow. Things go the way they're supposed to. Things go on their merry way. And this is the end of the very first arc. This is volume 1, 10 issues. They do promise us a second arc. I've already called it a thing because this is West of Sundown. The new one is called West of Sundown 2 in the Chamber. So, and I don't want to spoil the end for you. The last page is beautiful. If you read this comic book, after you've blasted through it and read it, go back and read the last page again because I could not stop laughing. So, this is a really good book and I'm glad we got it. It was awesome. Alright, so, Sophie, Fiona. You came over for double sleepover. You got here Friday. We just took you home a little bitty while ago. And we had fun. We went to the park. You got to ride your scooters. We went to the library. We made food things. We ate food out in the world. Just a good time. We wore them out. So today was a lot of... It's raining here in Michigan. It decided to go from 83 one day to 50 and cold and rainy the next. So we stayed inside so I could make ham and bean soup and cornbread, and they could play on their tablets. Sophie has figured out how on her little kid tablet to hack YouTube, but we won't tell their parents. Shh. I don't have to worry about it. Their parents never watch this show. So it'll be fine. So that's our comic books for the week. As I always tell you, go to your local comic book store if you're interested. If anything here sounded good, I'm sure they've got it, or they can order it for you. If you see something that you like here and you can't get it, you can order it usually from any comic book store. If you don't have the fundage for comic books, they have like 50-cent bins or 25-cent bins at a lot of comic book stores. Find some things you like to read there, or you can read it for free at your local library. I always recommend that as well. Your local library also has a web-based one where you can read them on your phone. There's no excuse not to read a comic book if you like reading comic books. So until next week, I'll see you next week with another stack of comic books, and go read a comic book.